So this particular slide gives you a snapshot of the difference between the raw construction costs and our budget. Any questions on this particular slide? One of the main reasons that I asked that these items be moved for discussion with the board is I wanted to make sure the board was aware of, due to the proposals that we received this year, when you combine all of these things, there's a couple of things that are impacting the overall schedule. So on the top line is our current budget of $24.5 million. We have construction proposals in the value of $17 million. We've already paid for equipment at $7.8 million. Right now that puts us about $500,000 above what we've budgeted for these items. When we add in the soft costs and then take back the PG&E rebates that are available for this equipment, which is about $530 per ton that we can get back on the VRF, it shows us over budget by approximately $3.7 million on this particular item. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring it to the board, obviously we're going to pull this money for the HVAC out of what we have as our escalation contingencies. However, if we keep seeing this type of increase, what we do run the risk is that the escalation will outnumber the amount of money that we have, and then we'd have to obviously look at the potential de-scope of some of the modernization phase. So I wanted the board to be aware of that.
Do we anticipate that the bids will reach the maximums that are being presented?
The particular three bids that we have up here right now are the proposals that we received and negotiated with the contractor. So those are the best and final proposals that the contractor has.
Thank you.
I think you said you would put these on the website, so if folks wanted these slides,
Definitely.
we'll be able to post those.
Definitely. When we were looking at this, I came up with this very quickly, obviously.
That's fine, we'll just post it. I wanted the public to know we will be posting these.
Any particular questions on this? I see Miss Mayo writing, so I just wanted to make sure.
It's a good note taker.
Any other questions?
Okay, well, I appreciate your, because I know philosophically I talked before with Mr. Peterson and then with Mr. Cody as well about if putting them on the consent kind of makes it look like routine business, and I appreciate Mr. Cody's willingness to pull these and address the fact that there sometimes, there's some extra pieces in here that we need to consider, and so I appreciate your pulling those and letting us have some look at those individually. So any other questions from the board on that particular item? If not, that covers all three.
That is correct.
So you're willing though to get back up if there's more on the next two.
Sure.
But before I do that, I believe Mrs. Oakes has a couple public comment cards. We'll just take the public comment cards on, is that this one right here? Is that RFQ 1632? Yeah, I see Mr. Ferranti and Mr. Parker. Was that for this one with Tabor? Okay, so Mr. Ferranti and then Mr. Parker. Thank you, Mr. Cody. Mr. Ferranti, we're going to take public comment now prior to the board taking action.
So according to the published document on the web as of this morning, the engineer's original estimate was 4.64 plus million. The accepted bid was just shy of 6 million. That's an increase of a little over 28%. I have a problem with that. I can deal with an increase of 4, 5, 6%, but an increase of 28%, it's a little hard to take. Worst days under Measure C, when China and India were buying up all the raw material, we got hit with a 17% increase, totally unexpected. And we caught no end of flack from the board as well as the public. Why did you have to ask for more money? Because there was this bad bidding process. Well, we didn't realize that China and India were gonna buy up all the plywood and cement and 2x4s and what have you. 70% was pretty high, I had a problem with that. This is 28.4%. Nuh-uh, doesn't work for me. Either the engineer who did the original estimate needs to go back to school, or something's really wrong here. I can continue with 8.11, 8.12 if you want, or I can come back at when you call me name the second and third time. Your choice.
We actually are dealing with each one independently.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Parker?
Good evening. So, John, just stood here and told you that the engineer's original estimate was $4.6 million, and if you look at the RFQ that was put out for these projects, the estimate on page 9 of those documents is $3.8 to $4.3 million for this project. So it's probably a little bit more than 28%. What bothers me is that there's a almost 27% difference between the low price and the next price. And those are the only two prices, and I've mentioned this before, that we should be getting more numbers for this. Now, if you look at the attachment to the docket item, that gives the breakdown, or it lists 10 contractors that were invited to the project. So